Our need will be the real creator, wrote Plato, the Greek philosopher. And herein lay the genesis of India's wind energy major Suzlon Energy. Tulsi Tanti, a textile manufacturer from Gujarat, needed cheap and continuous power supply for his unit. And in search of that, he created Suzlon Energy in 1995. Soon, Suzlon became the poster boy of India's renewable energy story. It had 50% domestic market share and was thirsty for global growth. These growth ambitions, however, were powered by debt, pushing Suzlon to the brink of bankruptcy. But last year was in many ways a watershed year for Suzlon. The company achieved a net zero debt status. It has been on an order-winning streak, sending the company's share price to new highs almost every trading session. In 2023, Suzlon's share price jumped 277%, dwarfing the Sensex, which gained 19%. This is its best annual performance since it was listed in 2005. Currently, Suzlon's share price has recovered to over 40 rupees from its lowest at 2 rupees in 2019. Suzlon's net worth has turned positive after a decade, and its market cap is at 55,000 crore rupees. So, is the company turning a corner? Will these winds of change continue? And as India's wind energy sector grows, will Suzlon be able to ride along? I sat down with the CEO of Suzlon, JP Chalsani, to understand what's changing at Suzlon.
There is a proven track record of us, which made the investors to believe that this company is now going to grow. It's out of woods. I assume that that's what is in the minds of investors when they invested in the company and the share price has gone up.
Get market insights from Aaron Barr from Wood Mackenzie.
We see lots of other competitors entering, including kind of the primary Western competitors, companies like Vestas and General Electric, but also a significantly increased competition from Chinese equipment manufacturers.
And a better sense of the balance sheets from ET senior editor Sangeeta Mehta.
If you think of it, the lenders have lost money, taxpayers have lost money. So in a way, I wouldn't call it a turnaround story.
It's Tuesday, the 9th of January. From the Economic Times, I'm Kalpana Pathak, and this is the Morning Brief. The name Suzlon comes from a blend of two words, Sujbooch meaning carefully considered and loan, together making Suzlon. The company grew steadily between 1995 and 2007. It decided to expand and provide integrated solutions to its customers. This needed funding. So in 2005, it went public, raising 1,500 crore rupees. Suzlon manufactures wind turbine generators, forging and foundry components, and provides operation and maintenance support. In a bid to grow faster, Suzlon made two expensive acquisitions of Belgian gearbox maker Hansen Transmission in 2006 and Germany's Repower in 2007. In 2008, as the global recession kicked in, the wind market crashed across the globe. A few blades of Suzlon's machines cracked in wind farms in the US. Even as the company tried a repair program that sucked cash, its market capitalization fell from 68,000 crore rupees to 8,000 crore rupees in 2010. The business suffered, and Suzlon defaulted term loans, working capital loans, and failed to make payments to creditors. At one point, the debt had swelled to 17,000 crore rupees. Yet creditors were very generous to Tanti. They restructured the debt 5 times. According to my colleague Sangeeta Mehta, who's tracked Suzlon's debt recast program, lenders have given Suzlon more opportunities than any Bollywood producer would give an actor who's delivered successive flops.
So Tanti had a vision. In fact, he was the first entrant in the wind energy business, and he entered at a time when there was a lot of hype about wind energy. If you remember, Aishwarya Rai, Sachin Tendulkar, these guys also invested in wind energy business. And he also had a market share of 50% in wind turbine industry. worldwide, that is. And he was the fifth largest player globally in wind energy. But what probably went wrong, I would say, is his poor execution skills. And then even banks, they put good money after bad money. Their assessment of the project went totally haywire, is what I would sense. The other issue was that Tanti was very ambitious. He wanted to be the world leader. Being fifth was not really good enough for him, probably. And this led to aggressive expansion. And a lot of these acquisitions that he did were really ill conceived debt finance acquisitions. And then the rise in the debt did not keep pace with revenue. So you had a situation where you weren't able to pay for your borrowing, and then it led to liquidity crisis. Eventually, he had to knock at the doors of the banks to get his loan restructured. I think the first restructuring happened in 2008 when he defaulted on his foreign currency convertible bonds. And ever since, every 2 to 3 years, there have been a restructuring in Suzlon's case.
Why do you think lenders were recasting Suzlon's loan again and again?
One is that either you recast the loan or you take legal action to recover the loan. It was in 2013. Back then, we didn't have anything such as IBC. The only option that lenders had was SURFACE and DRT. And both of them have not lived up to their expectation. The recovery would take endless number of years. Then in 2015, when Shangvi came, it gave them a lot of confidence. And the 2019 was a big blunder, the debt restructuring, because then you had IBC. So here was a situation where the equity holder does not lose out, but banks take a huge haircut of 65%. It sends a very wrong signal that lenders will take a haircut and the promoter sits on the driver's seat.
As Sangeeta mentions, in 2015, Sun Pharma's promoter Dilip Shangvi came in as a white knight and bought a 23% stake in Suzlon for 1,800 crore rupees. A mutual agreement was signed for the same. Last September, however, this agreement was terminated, citing Suzlon's apparent turnaround. Shangvi remains an investor. But in 2017 came another blow. The wind sector moved away from feed-in tariffs to competitive bidding. This impacted demand, and many wind energy companies had to shut shop. Suzlon scraped through. Then in 2022, the company raised 1,200 crore rupees through a rights issue to pay debt. But before the rights issue was launched, Tulsi Tanti passed away after suffering a heart attack. In August 2023, Suzlon launched a qualified institutional placement of 2,000 crore rupees to pay off debts. Later, it declared itself net debt-free. In the second quarter of this fiscal, it posted an 81% rise in net profit and a 7% rise in EBITDA. Net cash position was at 600 crore rupees. Dalal Street factored this in, sending the company's share price to a new high. Suzlon Energy CEO JP Chalasani says the company is out of the woods and investors believe it is on the growth path.
Obviously, the fundamental answer is investor confidence. Okay, but the confidence is coming basically because of two reasons. One is internal to the organization, one is external sectoral issues. Internally, we had an issue with respect to the high OPEX. Our fixed cost was very, very high. And then we had a very high debt. So even interest cost itself was about almost close to 100 crores per month. Internally, we fixed both. We fixed the OPEX that we fixed in 2019, 2020 itself. And as far as the debt is concerned, you know that we have now become completely debt-free, except for whatever is required for running our operations. So what does it do is that because we become debt-free, we do have a huge amount of internal accruals coming from our service business. And the third one was the order book. The order book has been significant for us, and especially for our 3 megawatt turbine, new turbine, what we launched, there's a very good the response from the clients. And the external factors are obviously the sectorial tailwinds are strong. We're seeing that, in addition to the renewables, even the wind is picking up significantly. Now there's a huge amount of the requirement from the point of view of the utility PPS as well as the C&I segment, which is another significant one. I think these are all the factors which made people to believe that we're in the right space, and not just in the right space. There is a proven track record of us which made the investors to believe that this company is now going to grow. It's out of woods. I assume that that's what is in the minds of investors when they invested in the company and the share price has gone up.
Yes, the share price has rallied and new investors have gained. But what about investors who invested in 2005 and lost money? Sangeeta, can this be termed a turnaround?
It depends on how you look at it. If the new investors have definitely gained, because those who bought at 2 rupees, the shares are at 37, 38, and they've really made good money. Promoter, of course, has made money. But if you think of it, the lenders have lost money, and just the back of the envelope calculation will show you that banks itself have sacrificed 10,000 crore. The shareholders who bought shares during the IPO, the shares were at 510 rupees, at the face value of 10 rupees. Now, if you look at it today, adjusted price, today it is 185 or 190. So they've lost out. And then from 2008, the company did not declare any dividend. So again, there is no earning on those shares. So the original shareholders have definitely lost money. Taxpayers have lost money because, every time a bank loses money, the taxpayers pay. So in a way, I wouldn't call it a turnaround story. It's too early, rather, to say it's a turnaround story.
Well, the jury may still be out on Suzlon's turnaround, but the company says it's focusing on growth and staunchly refutes any rumors of being on the block.
There is absolutely nothing like we're on the block. For me and my colleagues, there's only a single mantra is this is a golden opportunity for us to grow, and then let's just keep growing.
So what would entail the next growth phase for Suzlon? And how do you see the financial performance going forward, if you can share some numbers?
We do have a significant manufacturing capacity. We can manufacture any day 3 to 4 gigawatts in a year. So therefore, if you have a manufacturing capacity, only things what would make you to deliver is orders. And what would you make you to deliver is that do you have required working capital for you to invest in getting your materials required and deliver on time. Now we have the orders. We do have a working capital tie-up with REC, large working capital tie-up. And second is that there is no pressure of debt service or each quarter unit debt service is not there. So whatever internal accruals keep happening, both from the service business as well as the turbine business will go back into the system. So therefore, our ability to deliver larger volumes is significant now compared to what it was earlier. So our financial performance would be significantly better. And there is no debt cost anyway. So everything what we earn will straight away get into the bottom line.
Currently, Suzlon has an order book of 2 gigawatts. The company had decided to sell real estate in Pune to aid the balance sheet. But since there's no pressing need now, it says it will continue to look for the right valuation. It has, however, decided to retain and strengthen its 100% subsidiary SC Forge, which takes care of the forging and foundry business. Aaron Barr, who leads Wood Mackenzie's onshore wind energy research, says Suzlon is in a good position now.
It looks to have become quite sustainable now that they've restructured much of their debt, and their cash flow position seems stable. A lot of that is really underpinned by the strong presence they have in the O&M market within India. They have a large installed base of turbines that are active that comprises a large portion of their revenue, all of which is profitable revenue. So it appears that they may be in a good position to cover much of their debt obligations moving forward. We think Suzlon will focus in the near term on the domestic Indian market. We foresee lots of growth within the Indian wind energy market that should keep Suzlon busy for the near term, and it may be a few more years before they get back into exporting turbines to other countries.
So any challenges that you see for Suzlon going forward?
I think that the biggest challenge they have is within the domestic market, there's now a lot of other competitors. Suzlon had a very strong position in this market a decade ago, but now with the growth prospects that are happening in India, we see lots of other competitors entering, including kind of the primary Western competitors, companies like Vestas and General Electric, but also a significantly increased competition from Chinese turbine manufacturers. With massive orders already placed with companies like Envision from the China market. So that will be the primary challenge for Suzlon is maintaining a healthy order book in the face of stiffer competition.
According to Suzlon's regulatory announcements between October and December 2023, company won orders of over 800 megawatt. It closed the second quarter of this fiscal with an order book of over 1600 megawatt. Chalasani says the next challenge for the company is to deliver these large volumes.
While the fundamental issues of our high fixed cost and the debt issue is resolved now, that is over, and the sector is looking good. So therefore, the main challenge for us at this stage is that there is an opportunity and the clients are placing confidence in us. They're placing orders on us. For us is to deliver the larger volumes and suddenly you're leapfrogging into larger volumes from this year to next year and the following year. So we should not falter anywhere in doing this. So then you need to bring that agility back into the organization. That's what we're doing now today. That's a challenge to bring that agility back, saying that we can deliver. Second, because there's a significant growth you need to do a organization build up in terms of leadership to the organization. Both we have been working now. And this year is a year of preparation for us. Let's say FY24. Everything is happening in this year. The debt free has happened and working capital is tied up. Orders are coming this year. So this is a built-up year for us to deliver in a big way in FY25 onwards. Keep reducing your cost because market will become competitive. Your tariffs will become competitive. And more important is that your investors expect for you to keep on improving your margins. And the third challenge for us is to bringing your new products, which have the lowest cost per kilowatt hour and suit the Indian conditions where I think the wind speeds would keep coming down now for the new sites.
So where do you see Suzlon in the next 3 to 5 years?
Continue to be a market leader in India, number one player in India, in terms of the conventional wind turbine business, and significantly growing year on year. The explosive growth will start from FY25, significantly keep growing that capacity. In addition to that, can we actually become a total solution provider? Let's say that energy management system, which is we're working on, because moving ahead, you're going to have a wind, solar, and storage working together as one single project for RTC power. So the whole energy management system there becomes an important factor. And then can we look at international in 3-4 years? But right now there is no need. So effectively that number one in India and then one of the top wind manufacturers globally is what I look at as the next 3 to 5 years. What we see means we want everybody to see that wind means Suzlon. That's the branding we will again create. That's been the vision of Mr. Tulsi Tanti, and he created that brand in India, and then we'll continue to do that. More importantly, what you will see in the next few years is that we will insulate ourselves being cyclical as an organization, going up and down. That's what Suzlon had been. It went up, came back, came down, went up, came down. So we want to insulate that, and can we constantly keep growing, or at least maintain that level of whatever we achieve the peak growth, continue to maintain that growth, rather than do for a couple of years and sudden dip you get into, and then again you pick up after 2-3 years. And most important is that we just don't consider a one-time sale of wind turbines and directional commissioning. Our concentration is that every single turbine what we sell in this country, we only sell when client agrees for us for giving the service contract to us. So therefore, whatever we keep adding the turbines in terms of sales and commissioning is also becoming a 25-year revenue stream for us in terms of service business. So even this downturn for the last 2 to 3 years, we survived because of our service business. So therefore, we increase the turbines under service business and convert them into an annuity business, so are insulated from cyclical.
As Suzlon scripts new innings, Tulsi Tanti is not at the helm. But the predicted rise for India's wind energy sector may power the company's efforts. The government plans to invite bids for 50 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity annually for the next 5 years. These bids will include setting up of 10 gigawatts per annum of wind energy capacity. Added to this is the recently released repowering policy, which will help Suzlon's business as it has the maximum number of turbines to repower. The offshore wind segment is favorable too, but that's still some years away. It also bodes well that Suzlon plans to focus on the domestic market for now. Though it has an extensive international presence, its export ambitions multiplied its debt position in the past. With a 1/3 domestic market share already cornered, Suzlon is primed for future growth. But this growth should not be fueled by debt. That's it for today from me, Kalpana Pathak. A big thanks to Mr. Chalsani, Sangeeta, and Aaron for their insights. This episode was produced by Vinay Joshi and sound designed by Rajas Nayak. Executive producers Anupriya Nair, Anirban Chaudhary, and Arijit Burman. Thank you for listening. If you like this episode, do share it on your social media networks. New episodes of the Morning Brief podcast drop every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can catch it on a platform of your choice and, of course, on ET Play, ET's own audio platform. Have a great week ahead.